So pinball's back in New York State, and I wanted to do a little video of showing the games here in the store right now to play. You're allowed to come in the store to play pinball. Social distancing, of course. Masks required. Sanitize your hands before you play the games or after, or both. We've got plenty of hand sanitizer here. This is the brand new heavy metal pinball machine based on, of course, the iconic heavy metal brand, the magazine, and they also did the animated movie in 1980. It has a lot to do with that. Of course, Tarna is on the back glass, and you get to see a lot of cool stuff go on with this game. It does have the old dot matrix. It's a very limited game. I was told there's less than 100 of these games made right now, and it plays great music. Blue Oyster Cult, Cheap Trick, a couple songs from the original soundtrack. It also has Amorphous. It has Halloween in the game, and then we're going to walk over to the front door and we'll see two games I don't have turned on. The AC/DC limited edition. This is number 144 of 200 of the Let There Be Rock edition of the AC/DC. We have the I believe this is a 1985 Gottlieb Premier Rock. It's just a rock and roll based game, and kind of cool. Got this from Todd Tuckey down at TNT Amusements. Hey Todd, what's up? Of course, the backlash screams 80s rock. We get everything from the guys from Rat, it looks like, to possibly Billy Idol and some new wave stuff going on. Now we're going to take a walk to the back. We've got our banners of Pinball Hall of Fame up here, the Beatles, Franchi art, Maiden with the Zombie Eddie art. We got Zeppelin, which is coming here eventually. Guns N' Roses, which is still not here yet, but will be. And we've got the bubble hockey game here for Toronto Maple Leafs versus the Chicago Blackhawks. And now as we head into the back room here, we got Evel Knievel. Classic. We got Dolly Parton, of course. We've got the Jurassic Park from Stern from a couple of years ago. This does have the Pro backlash, but it is the premium edition. We've got the Cyclone. We've got the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And here's the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, designed by John Borg. This is a brand new game from Stern. It came out last year during the pandemic. It's been here at the shop waiting for you to come play. Team up with the Turtles in April and fight the evil Shredder, of course. Bally Wizard we've got. It's one of our classic games, the oldest one in the shop right now. It's based, of course, on The Who, on Tommy. We've got Daltrey and we got Anne Margaret on the back glass. And it's here to play. We've got the classic Kiss 1979. The first pinball machine to ever hang out at Rock Fantasy back in the 80s. This is not the same one. My wife actually bought this one for me for a birthday present several years ago, I believe now. Maybe my 39th, something like that. Kiss 2015 Stern with the Gene Simmons that spits out balls and plays a lot of your favorite Kiss songs. The Walking Dead limited edition, not limited, a premium edition rather. We've got this to play some Slayer music. We've got a code in it, and it's a lot of fun. We've got the Beatles, Beatlemania, Pinball, another limited edition from Stern. Well, not a limited, but it was a low-end run. We actually got this game at the New York City debut. We played it with Cousin Brucey, the classic radio DJ, who introduced them at Shea Stadium. He actually played the game and actually signed it for us. We've got the duo of Rolling Stones, the classic 1980. And the I believe it's a 2011 Stern. It's somewhere in the early 2000s. 2010, I'm wrong. So it's got Mick Jagger that goes across the playfield, plays a lot of cool Stones songs. It's probably not the most elaborate Stern pinball, but it's a lot of fun. It's got great flow, and it's a good rock and roll pinball. And now there's Bimbo the Clown. We're still getting him working. He actually has his right tape now. We have to get a little work done on him still. We've got Black Knight, Swords of Rage, designed by Steve Ritchie, programming by our good friend Timmy Sexton, and this has music from Brendan Small, Death Clock, and Scott Ian from Anthrax has reworked the soundtrack. We got Attack from Mars, Chicago Gaming. This is a premium edition, or limited edition rather, 627 of 1,000. And we've got Medieval Madness, Chicago Gaming. We've got the Metallica Master of Puppets, limited edition Master of Puppets. This is 199, I believe, of 500 of them made. Another one of the favorites. Iron Maiden, great zombie Yeti art, Keith Elwin design. This is the Legacy of the Beast Premium. Aerosmith Pro, another great design with art from Dirty Donnie. It's got a jester that pops the balls out. Deadpool, one of the best Stern pinball machines made, I have to say. This one has been out at the bar at Tap for a few years and since it came out, and was on my patio for the pandemic, and here it is back in the shop. A very rare game is the Rob Zombie Spook Show International, made by Spooky Pinball, a smaller pinball company, and there's only about 300 of these in the world, and we're proud to have one here at Rock Fantasy. We have the Monsters Pinball with the topper, great art from Chris Franchi, autographed by our good friend of the store, Butch Patrick, who played Eddie Munster, of course, in the show. Eddie's been here at the shop and done an episode of the Rock Fantasy Files with us. Also, the Monster Bash LE from Chicago Gaming with the color display and just all the bells and whistles. One of the best games here in the shop. And here's the one room. We're going into the second room. Of course, the classic Addams Family from '91. One of the games that was the most widely produced pinball machine ever made, based, of course, on the Addams Family films. Creature from the Black Lagoon. It's got a sticky flipper, but it's here, so that's why it shut off. A pair of Elviras, the classic Elvira Party Monsters from 1989. And we also have Elvira's House of Horrors, a brand new pinball that came out in the fall of 2019. And we picked this up last summer. And it's got great B-movie footage from old horror movies that you get going. It's got the castle in there and everything else. Fireball 2, Fireball Classic rather, Fireball 2 we did sell. Under the weather right now, of course, Gorgar, the first talking pinball machine and immortalized by Halloween and their song from Walls of Jericho. World Cup Soccer, another classic. The Game of Thrones Pro has the topper on top, and you get to challenge and battle the different families and move your way through. The Batman, rest in peace, our good friend Eric, who was the Batman at the store, would come and play this game 4 or 5 times a week. We lost him to cancer during the pandemic, and rest in peace, Eric. But this is another great game. Chris Franchi, classic art from the 60s Batman. X-Men's back in the shop. It was gone for many years. I picked one up during the pandemic, and X-Men is back to play at Rock Fantasy. Of course, the Wolverine and Magneto, all your Marvel, mutants. Not mutant viruses, mutant superheroes and villains. So we've got Guardians of the Galaxy Pro, another great game based on the Marvel series, of course. Great 70s AM music soundtrack in the game. Star Trek, signed by Steve Ritchie, and I believe also signed by the producer, or the designer rather, and that is here to play also. On loan from a good friend of mine is the 1980 Flash Gordon. Of course, that's here to play. We've got the Stern Cheetah, which has become a very rare game from the original Stern company. Sea Witch has a couple issues, so she's down at the moment. It's a couple classic Bally Williams here. We've got the Theater of Magic. We've got Williams' Tales of the Arabian Nights. And we have Genie, one of the few Gottliebs in the collection at the shop. I have more at home. And here's Gottlieb Genie. We have Bride of Pinbot, who's under the weather now, should be up and running soon. And Williams, Sword of Fury. And this is another great game. I kind of feel like if you don't have the license to He-Man and Masters of the Universe, or
defeats the Balrog.
another 80s cartoon of that style. You make Swords of Fury, another fun, great game. And we have a big game sitting here that's apart, and we have a mystery score that's apart. But just wanted to let everyone know that yes, pinball is back. It's allowed by New York State again, so you can come in and play the games. We like to limit the amount of people playing pinball to about 15 in the whole shop, and stay 6 feet apart. The floor is marked out, and you can see the tape. So don't play a game within 6 feet of another person. Keep your mask on, sanitize. We've got 2 restrooms with plenty of soap and water and some sanitizing stations all around the shop. And let's hope everyone stays safe and you can come back in and play a little pinball. Pinball tournaments will be held again here on the 2nd and 4th Thursdays of the month, being run by some of my employees because I'm still laying low waiting so I get vaccinated and feel a little more safe about coming out. And hope all is well in your world, and play some silver ball. And thanks for watching, and hit subscribe if you like to see the content of my channel, which is interviewing bands and having various band members and friends and journalists talking about rock and roll, bands, and whatever in general. And of course, I still cover some of the racing events, the dirt track and some drag racing events here in the Northeast too on the channel. So thank you very much for watching, and hopefully you guys can stop in and play a little pinball. Thanks.